And welcome to the In 90 Minutes podcast. Welcome to a 3 Point Monday. I've been waiting to say that for so long. Welcome to a happy Monday. Welcome to the whole crew here John, David, Misael, Luke. Happy Monday, everybody. Thank you for all being here with us this Monday and every Monday. Thank you for supporting the show. As always, if you don't already follow us, please make sure you do so. Follow all our socials. We're on pretty much every major platform. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch on Mondays. And yeah, so please make sure you follow and thank you for your continued support. We have a lot to unpack this Monday. A lot has happened since the last time we met, and we're going to unpack it all. There's some good, there's some bad, there's a lot of change going on. And, change is part of life. Not going to be the ones to say, we said, we told you so, but I'm sorry, we can't, I can't
I mean,
resist it,
that's
you know.
one thing that we would always be right about. Eventually, he was going to be gone.
Absolutely. So, not to let the cat out of the bag, but everybody knows. So, what John is referring to, obviously, the club did part ways with Oscar Pareja. They announced that, and they announced that Perlman was going to be taking over as the interim coach, which he did. We had our first match with CF Montreal since then, and we came away with the win. We will definitely be unpacking all of that and our thoughts on all of it. But before I start with that, how's everybody doing today? Everybody had a great weekend, I hope. Good times. Good
Pretty good
times.
weekend.
All right. So before we dive into the first team, I know we had a lot going on outside of City's first team. Pride had their home opener, which they fell, I believe it was 3-1 to the Seattle Rain. They had a they had a rain delay. It was 2-1. Sorry, I was there, and you would think I'd remember that. They had it was actually a pretty good match. I only did get there for the second half of the match. I was disappointed to see the number of people. I would say that it probably had a lot to do with the weather and the rain delay. I feel like there were more people there before the second half. That rain delay did gut the stadium, if you will, I believe. They did have a good match, I believe, and a lot of missed opportunities. A lot of missed opportunities. There's no reason that could not have been a win for them. But you know what? It's the first match. You have a long way to go. And I think from what the performances I saw, I think they're on a good path, right? So we wish them the best. Any thoughts
Yeah,
on the game, gents?
I watched on TV mainly the second half, but obviously they played the highlights of the first half. I'd love to know what they called a foul. I still don't. I watched it several times back. In the first half, they called a foul on the Pride on a
Yes,
goal that we scored,
yes,
and then to go back basically 24 hours before that, and for Montreal to be given a goal where to me there was a clear foul on Montreal. I couldn't tell down on my end sitting on the wall, but on the replay of the men's match, you could clearly see it. But yeah, I mean a lot of missed opportunities. Banda's officially back. You could tell she was not
yes.
all the way back, but still had the speed, still had the strength. Um, and was able to put one away. Um, pretty, you know, just outran everybody, outmuscled everybody, and then put it in the back of the net.
Yeah. Okay. Uh,
There
moving
were two debutantes for the
on the
Pride.
Pride.
Yeah, um,
Solai
Reagan.
Washington and Regan Rabe. Rob,
Yeah,
awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Like I said, I mean overall they had a great performance, I think. I mean there's always things that you could do better, but with what we saw and given their history, I think they have you know, they're off to an okay start. I wouldn't be ringing the alarms just yet for one loss. All right. OCB also played this weekend, and if I'm not mistaken, they did come away with the win. They were play. Where were they playing, gents? It was an away match, right? If I'm
North
not
Carolina. Carolina Core.
Carolina Core, and they came away winning 3-2. I heard that was a pretty intense match towards the end. I didn't get to watch it, but I know the two of you were talking about how big a comeback it was. So, what are your thoughts on that match?
Yeah, I didn't get to see the first half because I had my son all by myself, so we still went and tailgated beforehand, just him and I. So I was getting him situated, getting to the lot, getting the stuff set up for the tailgate and such, and then basically turned it on just after halftime. Second half started. They were down 2-0. Um, Came back and won. I mean, not they pretty much dominated the second half. I would say. They um, yeah, I mean they dominated. They tied it up, and I think it was right around the 70th minute. Um, then they tied it in stoppage time, or scored the go ahead goal in stoppage time to pull ahead. Yeah, the goals were Sargent in the 75th minute, Ellis in the 80th minute, and then Trombino 90 plus 96th minute, literally the last minute of play. There was a foul called just outside the box. Caraballo, I think it was, pushed it. Was the kick took the kick? Yeah, he was the got the assist. Whipped it in and got a head on it and put it in the back of the net to win it at the death. So exciting win. Short-handed too because Typhy wasn't able to be there with the B team. They were missing Liao. They were missing Gusky, which I have a feeling Gusky might be mainly first team this year, if you ask me. But yeah, a fun second half to watch for sure.
Say that. I'm putting Taifi's name out here. I think he'll be with the first team a lot this year with the way he's performing. So it's glad to see that the players who are having the most hype are performing at the level and doing what they're supposed to do, like the Caraballos, the Ellises, and all of them. So it's good to see. But everyone can't make the team. This is the thing: is like when it comes to our young products, everyone's fighting for a place in the team, and it,
Yep.
it pushes the first team players, and it tells them your place isn't safe either, including up top in the attacking positions. Like no striker's safe at the moment with Ellis scoring, and then you've got like Leao also scoring. So it just shows that nobody's place is set in stone, especially with a new manager, especially with a manager out. So yeah,
That was a good game. I watched the first half, completely forgettable. The OCV of this year is completely depleted. Not that the guys that are playing right now are worse than in the past. It's just that the talent, core talent, has moved on either to other teams or to the first team, and it was a complete OCV roster that did the one thing that players that the fans want from their team. If you're down by 2 goals, can you come back? Which the first team obviously has failed to do several times. The man of the match, the star of the moment, name MLS Next Rising Star for match week 3 is none other than Caleb Trombino, who received that beautiful free kick from top of the box. Uh, more like the side corner of the box from Caraballo, Gustavo Caraballo, and just nailed it. I mean, shut that place down. Talking about Ellis had with the equalizer. Nah, this place basically started having people pull cables, throw the trash out, say their goodbyes, and heading out to the parking lot in no time. And that was great to see. Carolina Core is a hard team to play against because they're an independent club. So those guys are the best of the best. They're fighting to get the attention of an MLS team. And by the way, how many former Inter Miami Academy players are gonna be in the diaspora? It seems like every team that we play, there's two or three of them, and including OCB. OCB has harvested a few of those players because they got no future. They will never see the first down there. Happy for the boys. Um, you know, harbinger of things to come later on that night. I was very happy, very excited for them. Obviously, more to see. Invite everybody to go see OCB this Sunday. And if you guys correct me if I'm wrong, if you are a season ticket holder, you can request free tickets up to four
Yep.
free tickets.
Yes.
I unfortunately I couldn't make the Montreal game. I definitely want to go to this one. God willing, I will be able to because OCB deserves our respect, our support. And a lot of people love Alex Freeman when he was in the first team. Man, the people that you see on your screen right now, we were enjoying that man at Osceola County Stadium. What were you? And if you were missing, you still got time to catch up OCB. And by the way, the club, please make OCB merch available once again. Please make OCB merch available once again. I actually have an OCB scarf from 2016, and I treasure that because it's very few. How many times people have begged you for the jerseys? You know, please, please, please. I once again, I'm sending out a call to the club with ideas of how to take my money. How to take my money. Please, listen. You don't have to go buck wild. Just make the OCB available, a jersey available, which is the same one as the first team. All you're doing is changing the badge and sell some scarves. People want to support OCB. And how do you support OCB? You make it available. You make it exciting. So if you're a season ticket holder, go and get your tickets. And listen, the club will hate me for this, but if you can make it, gift the tickets away. Gift the tickets away. We need a full house to let the boys know that this is a rivalry and that we're gonna smash them. It's as simple as that. So if you can make it this Sunday, please be there.
Also,
Definitely.
fun fact: the coach of Carolina Core used to play for Orlando. So that was
Donovan Ricketts, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Wow.
yeah, old school. If you were around, but yeah,
So I don't know what Luke or what David was saying about the team, being a little depleted this year. I wouldn't necessarily put it that way. They're just very young this year. We only have 8 guys that's 20 and older on the squad this year.
just the way it
That
should be, really.
yeah, that includes Otero, who obviously is mainly on the first team now as a backup. I mean, he started this past week, but 2, 3, 4,
I mean, the
5.
goalkeeper's 17.
Tristan Himes is 22. I know who you're talking about. I'm trying to
But
find him.
the new guy, the guy
Rojas?
the guy who was in this game.
Yeah,
17.
Rojas is 17.
He's 17.
Jesus.
He's still growing.
Absolutely, and we're gonna talk about that when we go into the section about Pareja's dismissal, which I guarantee you that at 14 minutes in, people are pulling their hair because they want to hear what we
Like,
want to
could you
talk
guys
about.
just get to it already?
Yeah, I know.
All
No,
right.
we're building up to it.
Yes,
This
yes.
is the
The suspense, right? So, any other news we need to chat about before we do jump into that? Or I think we covered everything, right?
maybe.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So, this past Wednesday, I was sitting there at work scrolling during my break, and at around noon, 1 o'clock, I see a post by Orlando City, announcing that they and Oscar had mutually decided to part ways, and that Martin Perlman had been announced as the interim head coach. I immediately sent a message to this crew right here that you see and you're listening to about the decision. And, regardless of your thoughts on it, it was something that most of us thought was going to happen. You may be happy about it, you might not be happy about it, but you know what? Change is a part of growing. Um, so the club decided to move forward with that decision. I think I speak for all of us here when I say we were relieved to see that change because it's been some time coming. Um, Even though it's not to say that we are not supporters of Oscar, but as we mentioned in the last show, it was time, right? The strategies were not working. We had become complacent and we had just plateaued as a team. That's really what it was about. So now, thoughts, gentlemen, thoughts about the separation, not so much about the game yet. Let's just talk about this because this is the juicy part for everybody.
Yeah,
About the possible choices that are out there and the directions that the club might go. And what else do we want to talk about around this topic? I know we're gonna want to jump into the match because it's naturally gonna segue into there, but let's just talk about this for a little bit because I know it's on everybody's mind.
for sure. And I'll go first. First of all, we want to, personally, I want to thank Oscar Pareja for everything that he did for the club. The few times that I met him in person, and you guys have to, the guy was nothing but a gentleman, very lovable guy. We always said it here that our discrepancies were on the football pitch, not with the person. It's sad to see somebody lose their job. I've been fired, been laid off. I have bills to pay. I once was laid off with a toddler and my wife 6 months pregnant and bills to pay, and so I understand that asking for somebody's job is never pleasant. Oscar had a nice severance package, and I'm pretty sure that he will fall somewhere, because he's great at rebuilding teams. You look at Philadelphia right now, dumpster fire. So somebody like that can do them wonders. Um, the one thing I have to say is to the people that supported him through and through, that support is gonna be needed for the boys as we move forward, and that support is gonna be needed for whoever takes over. I saw people saying, "I'm taking pictures, I'm taking screenshots, so when we start losing, I can bring them up." What a moron will say something like that? It's like saying, "I dislike the pilot and I want him to crash even when I'm passenger on the first row." It's moronic. People want to win internet arguments, and people want to win, you know internet trophies, I guess, um, by saying, "Oh, I said it first, or I did it first." There's none of that here. There's none of that here. As a podcast, we support a club. Oscar had 6 seasons to get us to where we needed to be, and unfortunately, that wasn't the case. You don't have to take my word. Mark Wilf, who was there that night, agreed with that, and to Goldberg and Perlman, I have a soft spot for the guys. They're Latin American guys like me. They're Jewish guys like me. So, I wish them the best. I personally don't think that they are the solution. I would like to see a more seasoned and direct and attacking minded manager. But right now, those are the guys that we need to support because we're on a collision course to try to snatch 10 points before April 1st. Otherwise, the season's gone and done. So I finished because I want to give the opportunity for everybody to say this. their opinion. I was hurt a little bit because we're gonna miss Oscar, but at the same time, football is about results. And I saw this post online. Let me see if I can find it real quick. That basically summarizes how I feel about football, and I can find it. Basically, what it says is, and paraphrasing a little bit, is just because you watch a lot of football doesn't mean that you understand the game. So I know that there's a lot of people that pay for the expensive seats and that love the tailgating and do all that. But the reality is, my friends, that I work my butt off Monday to Friday to pay for my ticket on Saturday. And I want to see wins and I want to see trophies. And after 12 seasons in the league, it's about time that we are giving weight, patience, and let's go.
Oh,
Agreed. Gents, who wants to go next?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was, a little bit sad, I guess you could say, on Wednesday. I mean, it's one of those, I've been calling for it for 3 years at this point. Well, actually, more than that, but we've only had the show for 3 years. But I was still sad because if we had to part ways with him, that meant that he probably wasn't doing the job he needed to do, which was winning matches. I agree with what David said about how Perelman. I don't think he's the answer. Yes, he's a more offensive minded coach than Poppy was, but that right now there's everybody knows Wilfred Nancy's out there. Honestly, he's third on my list for who I would want to see as realistically as our manager. Going forward. We'd be the full time manager, not the interim manager. And really one and two are Felipe Luis, who was the Flamengo manager. Was doing pretty well with them, and they let him go for some reason because they're psychotic down in Brazil with their professional soccer. And then the other one is Marcelo Gallardo. He was at River Plate. And then as Wilfred Nancy, those are the three guys that I think in that order we should go after. Um, Especially I know more about Gallardo's tactics just because I did a little more research on him than Felipe Luis. I feel like Gallardo, if we want to see attacking, pressing tactic of play, Gallardo would be the man. I feel like Felipe Luis is kind of the middle ground between Gallardo and Nancy, personally. But yeah, that's where we are.
Misael, do you want to go?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Luke.
Well, I mean, yeah, mine's is short. I agree with them. Like John said, it was bittersweet. I also was calling for his job, and just like David said, I did meet the man, and I respect him and respect everything that he did here for us, and thank him for that. But it was time for a change, and that's pretty much it. I mean, they basically said it all, so I don't want to keep repeating the same thing.
Yes.
All right. Enough with the it's about damn time he is gone. I'm saying it how it is. You lot, fair enough, right? I'm like, you lot said all the glitz and glamour, or the wishy washy stuff. Yeah, great. He had to go. Like he had to go ages ago. It's so long. It was torment for everyone. For even for the what do we call it here? The prawn cocktail brigade. Even the prawn cocktail brigade. It's like they even recognized it and it was time to go. So it's like, you know, and then I'm going to go back to it. Fair enough. Oscar brought us our first major trophy. He did it despite, what everyone says. We played all the games at home and we beat a USL team in the final. So I freaking hope we should have won that tournament. But other than that, the tactics were just lackluster, embarrassing. It was so painful for everyone. I just, and it could get worse. You just don't know what's going to happen in this future. Like it could be. I don't know if anyone clocked this before, but I said it's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. Because I genuinely believe that. Until we find a permanent manager that kind of fits our identity and where we want to go, I don't really know. So it's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. So just
agreed.
For the people out there that think it's going to change like this and this Montreal win's going to be the resurrection of new life. By the way, guys, I have no idea who this is, and if you do know who I am, and if I think I do know who it is, go to bed. You've got work in the morning. But if it's not who I think it is, I don't know who I want.
Yeah, it's your fan.
I don't know who this is, honestly. I'm lost.
The word on the street is that it's Luis Felipe.
You know what? Listen.
I would like Felipe Luis.
Yes, I would too.
I would like him because he's a top player. He's played in the Premier League. He's played at big clubs. He's got managerial experience. He's obviously good in a managerial capacity. He's young, moderately young. I wouldn't mind him. Yeah. He kind of. I don't know if we want to shy away and do something new.
I think
I don't know what something new is. Is he something new? I don't know a lot about his managerial career. I only knew what he was like at Chelsea.
Yeah, his managerial career has been short, honestly.
Yeah, because he only just retired. I thought he only retired.
But I feel like, we're trying to read the tea leaves here, right? And trying to figure out what the leadership is thinking. But I really hope that they're looking to change direction in a way to reignite the culture, reignite the fans, reignite everything around the team. And I think something like that would do it for several reasons.
But
would hiring him probably be a big help to get Griezmann?
You think? They played together.
They did play together for a little bit. Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. That's a big part of it, I think.
What I would like to say is he's been exposed to so many different top managers in his career, and he played under the special one, Jose Mourinho, and players like that, like managers like that, where they are top class managers. So if you're exposed to that environment, it's never going to be a negative thing, never.
Yeah, no,
to be exposed into those environments. So. He's young, which is another great thing. He's been let go. He's probably hungry to say, "Well, I've been let go. Why has this happened?" Mm-hmm. So, he's probably up for. It could go two ways. It could go polar opposite ways, in my opinion. Where
was that your pick for crisis letters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it could kind of does he want to get back into it and take a break from football, or does he want to go straight back into it where he's he's ready to go? So
yeah,
I just don't want to see us do kind of to what you guys were saying about Luke was saying about what's different. I don't want us to see us do the same MLS thing. People have been throwing. I know Wilfred Nancy's kind of a recycled product. But he's one of the best managers in the league. Some people have been throwing Jim Curtin's name out there. I do not want to see him.
No more MLS managers.
But let me ask you something. Let me ask you guys something about Wilfred Nancy, right? Do you think he'd want to come back to MLS?
No. I don't think
That's
he
what I was
would.
gonna say. Like, and that's my thing about Wilfred Nancy. Don't get me wrong; he's a great guy and he was a great manager, right? But he left to go elsewhere because it was a step forward in his career, right? I almost feel like coming back here for him would be a step back.
If
So
there's
I
any place he'd
Well,
go
it,
back to, it'd
it,
be
it, it,
Columbus.
it
okay.
depends if he wants that pressure again, though. He
Exactly.
just got
And
let go. He was just there for 33 days only. He was only there for 1 month. Does he want
Yeah,
that?
but he went into a losing situation.
yeah,
His first division is a powerhouse team.
Mhm.
They wanted results, and let's be honest. Luke and I have said it here before. How our teams in the EFL, if a manager is not working out 3 or 4 weeks, you gotta fire the guy because you can fall into that relegation zone. When you get relegated, it costs money. It costs people's jobs. It destroys the attitude in the town, et cetera, et cetera. I personally think that he will do great, like championship in England, maybe League One, but it's up to the manager if he is willing to lower the standards and try to make a
Well,
foothold somewhere in Europe. Maybe
I mean,
it's up to him. Personally, he's a manager that has won the MLS with very little time. He left Montreal. He wasn't fired, by the way. Some people were claiming that he was not fired. He left. He terminated his
mhm.
contract. He went to Columbus, and in one season, he crowned himself champion. All I have to say is, if that's the guy, great. I'd have said it. I don't care who it is. I know Mike Bianchi is calling for Inchi to come back. Love the guy. That's we need to
Yeah, he
stop.
is.
Three things that we need to stop in this club. We need to stop looking back with nostalgia. Things are the past. I don't look back on my seventh grade girlfriend as the one that got away, but neither should you. So why are we looking into the past? The other thing is, we need to spend money. We need to spend money. And you know what? I know that the podcasters went buck wild last week, and the front office listened to those shows. And I don't know how much fans can make a difference, but the reality is, thank you, Mama. The reality is, plain and simple, is that we need to win, and the fans are the patience is running low, and what is it, prong squad, Luke? The prong
The prawn
squad,
cocktails, the prawn
the
cocktails,
prong cocktail
cocktail
squad.
brigade.
We got a new subset here. I'm gonna run with that. Those dudes in the West Club, they love to complain because obviously I would too if I was paying $5,000 for a seat. And by the way, I don't want to crap on people, but if all I hear is complaints about food, I don't go to the stadium to eat. I go to the stadium to cheer on people. I could have easily afford West Club seats, but that's not my crowd. That's not my people. I want to be with the working man on the South Side. That's where I want to be, with people screaming their guts out. And on a side note, if you get easily offended by cursing and people loud, stay home. Stay home. I'm sorry. Stay home. Or you could go with the cocktail prong squad over there. They stay quiet. They stay quiet. In fact, if you get too loud, they tell you to shut up. I've been on the West Club. I've been told to shut up. I've been told that, hey, there's kids here. Keep them home. One
David.
of the
My
two.
my my thing is like if you don't like swearing and loud noises, go to tennis. Tennis is always an option.
Or golf.
Tennis is always an option. It's a great sport. Not my personal favorite sport. It's out there. Go because football's never going to change.
Yep. The one thing I will say though about the whole Oscar thing, right? And we've talked about this, is that the situation that the club created was their doing, right? Had they done what we were talking about, this departure would not have been so dramatic for the reasons that it was. Had they taken it to the point where we're saying, we're not saying 3 matches and a loss, but we're saying you see declining performance, don't wait and make the guy leaving
That's
be
true, my
on a
friend.
negative note, right? This is
We could
your
have had. I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt you real quick. We could have had closed the season,
yes.
exit the
And
man.
in a good way, in a
Respectful.
good send off. Have a good send off for the man, as opposed to saying we mutually agreed to part ways.
Yeah,
Why would you want to do
absolutely.
that to somebody who's been with you and helped you accomplish so much over the years when you know that that's what you were going to do? Obviously, I'm making it sound like it's easy. There's more dynamics than that. There's stuff that happens in the background and whatever. But really, and I'm saying that for the future because this is not the last time it's going to happen. Don't wait so long to take action on those things when you know what's going to happen.
We have a comment that says fix the culture. Okay.
And I,
Uh,
I truly think that's what the leadership is trying to do.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna to this fan first. Thank you for for watching us. I believe it's your first time commenting. We have to fix the culture, absolutely, but our ownership has to learn the culture. Okay, the I know very very good. This is not somebody told. I know from various sources that the ownership got hammered really really bad about them taking pictures with Messi. Really, 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 really bad. And they're getting the message. I personally believe that Mark Wilk. By the way, Mark Wilk doesn't live in town. He lives in New Jersey. He jumped on his private jet. Excuse me. He came down, obviously, for K. Rollins's farewell, which we're gonna talk about that. Um, but he didn't have to. He didn't have to. He could have just sent a video from his phone that they would have played on the big screen. Thank you for everything you done, Kay. Whatever. No, he's getting it. I'm telling you right now. The front office is understanding that this is not the NFL, understanding that this is not another part of their portfolio, and that if you want the fans against you, the easiest way is take pictures with Messi, don't spend any money, and you will see the stadium get empty. Simple as that. If we're gonna hammer Mark Wilf for the things that he does wrong, we have to praise him when he does it right. I met the man. I met the man. Okay, I had a conversation with him 2 or 3 years ago, and he seems like a honest, genuine man that has $5 billion in the bank. And he definitely needs to understand that you bought this, you want it, you got it, and you have to perform accordingly. The culture has to change. They have to spend the money. And to our friend Crisis Letters, listen, they already got the message. I can only fire up my computer every Monday at 9 and say these things. But if like we have said before, actions, words without action is just ink on paper. It's dead. There's nothing there. And I believe the Wolves, by making this decision, which is costing them a lot of money, by the way, because basically we had to pay Oscar's remaining 2 years on his contract. That's a lot of money. I believe Oscar was making 500,000. Do you guys correct me? That's what I heard. He was making $500,000 a year. So that's $1 million that we just gave a guy to go home and play with his grandchildren. So it was a difficult decision. By the way, Luis Musi put us in that difficult decision. I saw Luis posting praises on Twitter and this and that. Listen, Luis, you did right by your boy. I'm not gonna criticize you for that. I think you're a nice fella. I mentioned it several times, but you put us in a losing proposition where we couldn't get out of, and we had to do Oscar wrong. Oscar deserved a better farewell than just a message on Twitter
Absolutely.
on a Wednesday. He thanked the fan base. He sent a message out. He thanked the fan base in the club, and the professional that he is.
Well, the
But
thing
he
is,
deserved better than that.
David, is that you say that he needs a better farewell, and you know, I agree with you, definitely, but he got sacked. Like there was no parting ways in this. I don't care how they phrase it or how they put it. He got sacked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The results weren't good. Like they could say he mutually parted ways. That's why they put it in football nowadays. Or
Mutual agreement.
termination of his contract or whatever. Like he got sacked. So I don't know. And I agree with you in the sense that they could have done something like a little bit of a message, and they still might. It's still pretty new,
Yeah,
right?
but it's just it should have been, if it had been sooner, it would not have been the same situation.
Yeah,
It could have
and I
been a
don't think they
better.
were. I don't think they were planning this either, because obviously they weren't.
Yeah.
Because like if they did, they would have had probably the letter already like put in with Pereira's like monologue about how he's like grateful for whatever the club has done and stuff like that, cliche stuff. So um I agree with you on some points, but I feel like it should have just been like a little letter saying like, thank you for the service, blah blah blah. But he got sacked, so it's kind of like,
Hmm.
does he really do that? Does the club allow him to do that? Is there something? Did he fall out with the ownership and like stuff like that? So they're not really allowing him to do it. There's a lot of probably playground politics in the background where you know,
Absolutely. No, you're right. You're 100% right.
you know.
All right.
But
Any other thoughts on that before we move on to the match and the game day? No. No. Okay.
I think we're fine.
So, so this past Saturday at what 7:30, we took on CF Montreal at home. I actually arrived early because I thought the match was at 7, so I got there a little early. Went to the fan zone, and I was walking. As I was walking, I passed the. There's a merch cart there. Oh, let me show you this. So I have this cap. This is a black on black cap that I have. It used to be black, but I wear it like every day, and it's so faded that it looks like brown. I've been looking for this hat to replace it for 2 years, and they have not come out with it. They actually just came out with it last week. But anyway, I've been looking for it for 2 years. So every time I walk past a merch shop, I look to see what they have. And Misael knows where I'm going with this. And my son was like, Dad, look at that. I'm like, what? And what does he point out to me? He points this out to me. And for those of you who are listening on audio, I will describe it to you in as positive a way as I can. It is the most repulsive colored hat that an Orlando City fan can see with the Orlando City logo on it. It is the only shade of pink that you would not want to ever see in an Orlando City stadium on a jersey or let alone on a hat. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about it. We give me OCB merch before you give me a pink hat like that. Now, just to be clear, I checked Fanatics, they don't sell it. I checked the MLS shop and they don't sell it. Maybe they did, and maybe it's no longer available. But I'm like, come on, like really? There's like how many shades, how many colors of different types of hats we could sell? That's the one hat we sell, and it was inside the shop too, at the den, in all the stands. Why? I sorry, that's just my vent. Anyway, so moving on. um,
Ahmed was very upset about the hat, so he
because
needed that.
yes, it's like how there's like no logic in it. Like
It doesn't make any sense. You're right, but
it was just like it stood out like a sore thumb because it was the
It's
only.
tone deaf, and it was a decision that was made by corporate HQ.
the owners.
Another dud.
Maybe they had
Um,
them the day we played Miami, thinking that maybe the Miami fans would buy a pink hat, not paying attention, thinking it was a Miami hat. I don't know, but like after that, straight up I
yeah,
don't know. I
burn the
don't know.
place
You know
down.
what, Ahmed? I wouldn't put it past them
You
to
know what
do
I
that.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't put it past them to do that. That's a good point.
that's the only reasoning I could think. Because you figure a Miami fan will be there, they buy it, they think it's a
Yeah, they
Miami hat,
see
and then
pink. Oh, let me grab it.
yeah, yeah, it's all it's get it. It's a money grab. It's just I saw it and I was like, what the hell is this? Because I can't find it anywhere else. Like I said,
Right, of
online you
course.
can't find it.
Yeah. And to the comments, all about the money. Absolutely, nobody goes buys a football club for the love of it. Clubs have to be businesses have to be up,
Oh my god.
operating in the black, be buoyant, be profitable.
Yeah.
Not mad at that, but if you're making money, at least give me something to cheer about. Before we go into the game, I would like to mention this past Saturday, Kay Rollins was honored. She's retiring, and I personally want to wish her all the best. I believe she's going back to England, to Stoke. Her daughters live there. Most of her family is there, so well earned. I don't think there's a lot of people that can walk around with in putting in their resume that um, they created a club out of nothing. One of the things that I mentioned to her in the few times that I spoke with her personally was that that kitchen table where they conceived the concept of Orlando City should one day be in the museum for Orlando City that lives in my head, because it's a monumental moment. For those that don't know the story, I have not read the book by Simon Venice, um, Defy Expectations. Um, they basically sat down and said, well, as a football fan for 30 plus years, what do we want a club to be? And they created and crafted what later on became Orlando City. Um, she was always gracious and cordial. I know we didn't see eye to eye on many things over the years, but nothing but my respect and admiration for somebody that literally put her money where her mouth was, and went against the odds and beat him, and is walking. It started all with a notepad on a kitchen table, and she's walking away from a stadium with 18,000 people, and that's something that we have to honor. And I hope that the day we're playing a final, she gets to come back and see us lift that trophy. So, okay, if you ever listen to this, I just want to say thank you for the incredible gift of our football club. Wish you all the best. Stay warm over there in England. And I guess the answer has, and hopefully you will get the answer that you're looking for, which is, can you do it on a rainy Tuesday night at Stoke? We'll see.
Okay. Anything else to add before we get into the match?
Tifa was nice.
Yes, the tifo was actually very nice. Did I have actually have a picture of it? I don't know if anybody got one. I'll get it so we can share it on the screen. But so we came on to Saturday, CF Montreal, new team came out. I for one was just looking forward to see how the team came out. We talked about how many games we're going to win till April 10th, or the end of April, I should say. Many of us said there was one match that we were going to win, and this should be it, right? I agree in that, and I've always said this is going to be a very long season for us. This may be a high point, but it is going to get worse before it gets better. I truly believe we have a long path ahead of us, and there's going to be a lot of change. But for one, was happy to see how we came out. At least I sensed that there was a little bit of a fire in the guys. Um, I don't think we played a good game. Had to give us a grade, I would probably say it was like a C plus, considering how we could play, how we should be playing. We won, and I'm grateful, and it's 3 points, and we needed that. And I hope that this is the mental lift that the guys needed, but I don't think we played our best. We won, and it was exciting football for the average fan, right? But I think that there was a lot that we could take away and rip this game apart. And if we are, it's not because we don't believe in the guys. It's because
That second goal.
it's because we do believe in the guys, because for that very reason, right? I think we could be playing so much better than we are. I think we will be playing better than we are, but I also think we'll all agree here that we saw a lot of things that we're used to seeing from the team, right? So
That
did we
second
win?
goal was
Did we?
mental.
Yeah, please. Did
That
we?
second goal, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, what's going on? I said, where was this? I said, they're playing with freedom.
Yes.
It's like shackles were like taken off them finally. But that was something we've all been waiting for. That like one little goal has been
Yeah. And to
what
your point,
I don't.
years in the waiting in the making. But Misael, go. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was done. I was done.
Okay. No, I just wanted to add on to that and I don't want to I don't want to crap on the goal because it was a nice goal. I just think like was the whole thing really like meant to be that way because
Yeah.
Angulo had missed his first goal in the box off the post. That's how Duncan got the rebound, and then right again he was in the box and he didn't shoot. He passed it. So I just like I said, I'm not trying to crap on the goal. It was nice. I just didn't know if it was like did he like because to me it was like why didn't you shoot? That's what I had yelled where I was standing at, and then he passed it to Ojeda and Ojeda made it. So of course I'll take it. But my first thought was, why didn't you shoot? You're literally right there, like in front. Like you could have just tapped it in. So I don't know if it was, if he was just
Duncan's
nervous
back
about.
heel was 100% on purpose. Back to
Say it again?
Angola.
Oh,
Like when the
yeah,
guy, it's like in basketball when the guy airballs a three and it lands right in his teammate's lap for an easy lay-in.
Yeah.
But no, I think the reason he passed it, looking at all the replays, because I've watched that goal probably 100 times since I got home Saturday night.
it was good.
Is if you look because of where the ball, where he had dribbled the way he had dribbled the ball was kind of leaning him into the defender that was right there, kind of next to him, in front of him a little bit. So he would have really had to like contort his body or shoot it with his left foot. The easier pass was to get it to your guy that's going to knock it in more often than not, and the high IQ play was giving it to that guy anyway. So I mean, good on Angulo showing a little bit of what we knocked him for last year, which was him being too selfish last year. Um, I it was a very unselfish play, and in my opinion, it was a very high IQ play. But
I mean,
hey,
I like the fact that we were playing with freedom. The shackles were off, if you will. The first goal, something that we had criticized the club for, never going after the second ball or the so-called rebound.
Yeah,
And some goals are pretty, some goals are ugly, but they all count the same. So it does a ton for the confidence of a player that had not scored. I don't even remember. I think the last time Duncan scored was our last win in September of last year. So wonders for the young man. The second goal, the one with Tincho Ojeda, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I mean, you have to have a lot of confidence to pass the ball in the box like that. And to be quite honest, Spicer could have put the third goal. We gotta give some praise to our opponent. While both teams are on the lower end of the spectrum, they came out to play. And if it wasn't for the Moroccan Maldini, uh, Taifi, Zakaria Taifi, I mean that goal would that game would have ended up 2-2. He had a game saving save with his foot. Um, at the end, happy with the win. I think we got the monkey off our back. We got 3 points and something to build on as we move forward. And besides, the fans needed that. We went through that trauma of having our 6-year manager being sacked, and we were able to leave with smiles, especially when some influential people in the club were saying goodbye. So that's my opinion on that.
yeah, I mean, like Luke started out saying, David also said they looked free in the attack. They looked free to, just play up there. That was one thing I always said. It looked like Poppy tried to have too much input in the attack, which, depending on the level, you can and you can't. And to me, when you have, especially guys like Ojeda and Basilic up front there that can kind of, pull the strings of the offense, um, you can, kind of let them go and do their own thing a little bit. Saw a lot of positives on the attack. There's one specific one I remember seeing. Um, It was one where Duncan was a little more inside, towards the center of the field than McGuire was, and um, he Ojeda took made about a 10 to 20 yard run towards the ball, and it almost sprung Duncan. They just couldn't find him, but it was one of those simple movements that you move towards the ball, drag the center back with you, and Duncan went. I think they got the ball to him. He just nobody was there to help him. Um, Negatives. Second half, we didn't control possession much. But with that being said, we did have a higher line than we usually do. I'm saying 10 or 15 yards higher line, um, which is good, which means we force the opponent to keep possession further away from our goal. We didn't get caught, you know, too high where they were able to get behind us. I thought Iago by far had his best match in purple, given the small sample size we have. My favorite image of the night, and I said I wish I would have put it on here. Favorite image of the night was in the first half. Iago bodied two of the
Yeah.
Montreal players, and they're down, and he's just running back like nothing happened. And I mean the play. This is at midfield, and the play is all the way down on our defending goal line, and the two guys are still laying there writhing in pain.
That was classic. Any other thoughts, gents?
I'm just
What else?
excited.
Go ahead, John.
I'm just excited to see what Perelman can do. Going forward. Obviously, he only had a couple days of training, Wednesday, Thursday, full days of training. Friday's usually a little bit less. Um, to see what he does going forward. Somebody asked earlier, when do we think they'll hire a new manager? I think it's between now and the international break. In 2 weeks after this coming weekend, I think we probably hire somebody pretty close to the end of the match. Pretty shortly after the match on Saturday, to give them kind of a 2 week jump. We're only missing Pasalic this window so far. If we don't do it then, it'll probably happen in June, unfortunately, which in my opinion is too late. But maybe Perriman's the guy, and we go on a run with him, and it works. Sometimes look at what happened with Atlanta a couple of years ago. In the playoffs with their interim manager, they went on a nice run.
The legendary Orlando City legendary Rob Valentino, who, in my opinion, they should have had hired Atlanta. They didn't, and they're paying the price for that. Quickly, we won a game, people. I don't know about you, but we won a game, and that's enough for me. 3 points in the bag. Fans went home happy. I mean, as for me, you know, three of my two three of the teams that I follow won that day, so it was exciting for me because sometimes football can be destructive, and all the teams that I follow lose the same day in horrendous ways, and I'm like sad. And I professionally, I had the worst week of my career. Our company was attacked by some cyber terrorism, wiped our phones and laptops. It was insane. So that win Saturday night was probably the best thing that could have happened for any of us. But it's in the past, and let's not be let's be honest. It was Montreal. It wasn't. Montreal has been on the road. I mean, they were hot, but this Saturday coming up, we're away.
David, let me ask you this though before
Yeah,
you
brother.
move on. Do you think we win that with Oscar as manager?
Oof, tough, brother, tough.
I,
The answer is a maybe because we don't. Football is it's cruel and unpredictable. We say that all the time. But I
in
have to say that the team that we saw Saturday was different than under Oscar Pareja. The
Absolutely.
fact that we are praising Angulo instead of throwing a landfill of trash on top of him like we used to do is incredible. The guy was the man of the match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy on the 90 plus minute was still running as if he just he just came out of the tunnel. It was impressive to me to have that stamina because he has the speed, he has the football IQ. My issue was on the final third, either not taking shots or passing the ball to the opposition or skying, trying his best Carlos Rivas imitation, and then we were walking away empty-handed. I think,
I think if
yeah,
he could
like I
shoot, he
said,
wouldn't be here
we
anymore.
uncorked the champagne, and now we're ready to move on.
I think if Angulo could shoot, he wouldn't be here anymore.
Very true.
If
Very
Angulo
true.
was the complete product, he'd be somewhere. I don't even know where he'd
Right.
be.
That's what I'm saying. Like all that he does, if he learns how to shoot, I mean, we won't even
Yeah.
get to enjoy it. He'll be gone.
Hey, you never know, brother. Maybe this is the year where he has his road to Damascus moment. But I gotta tell you, um, I like I said, I would I don't know if no, I didn't mention it here. Obviously, I'm thinking about when I was talking in then after dark. Um, I was talking to a guy that got to see Martin play in Israel for Hapoel Beersheba. I believe they're in the second division now. And he thought the world of him. And actually, four of their fans live in Orlando, and they were all up for it. Oh man, this guy, you don't know, he plays aggressively, he coaches aggressively. I I gotta be honest with you, I didn't know who he was before he coming to Orlando. I know he coached Argentina in the Maccabi Games, which is this sort of like Olympiads for the Jewish diaspora. And Also, like I said, that he played in Argentina, he played in Israel, and he coached in both countries. So I wasn't very impressed with his time at OCB, but one thing that we did at OCB, other than the not winning a lot of games, was we scored a ton of goals. And if he brings that, if we consider a ton of goals, but we score more goals, I'm happy with that because let me ask the question to you guys: was Saturday game a fun, entertaining game? To me, it was. Even more so than when we play Miami. To me, we were in it to win,
Yep.
and we wanted to score more goals. And by the way, we surrendered a ton of possession. We only had 39%. So with that limited amount of percentage, we managed to look like world class. Again, perhaps we're playing to somebody that's at our level. We'll have to see when we go to to high flying Nashville, that is they are second in the league right now, have not lost a game. So if excuse me, if Martin can go to Nashville on a Saturday night and beat them, give them their first defeat, and at home, then we may be looking at, do we want to keep this man in that place? Because I don't think Oscar Pereja can do it. I don't think James O'Connor can do it. I don't think Jason Christ can do it. I don't think Adrian Heath can do it. I don't think any of our managers in a position like ours can go to a team that is jet flying, key stealing, limousine riding right now. I just don't think that we can do it. And if we, to be honest with you, I just want to go over there and get a point, taking advantage of the fact that they're playing midweek in Miami in CCL. So I have to say this: a point, great, because we gotta build those 10 points somehow. But if you go to Nashville and you win that game, I don't know, guys. Maybe just maybe we need to show up at the ramp on Trayport Drive and welcome the team at the tarmac. Maybe I will have to do that because only heroes do that. People that do that, they close stadiums down and they name stands after them. So Martin, if you're listening, you know let's sneak some extra prayers. Let's sneak some extra prayers this week. Take your vitamins, all that, whatever you gotta do. Because if we can go to Nashville and win, man, that'll be it'll be something that you can hold against our rivals. You can go and hang that over their head. Of course, they're gonna say, "Oh well, we play week, whatever." At this point, you have to give this fan base something to rally around. If you win in Nashville, Martin, if you're listening, this fan base will follow you to hell and back driving a fully loaded 16-wheeler tanker. That's who's going to follow you. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, he already did something no manager in our history has done. That's when their first MLS match as manager. Nobody had done it the interimly or full time. So he was able to accomplish that on Saturday. You know, like we've been saying, it is Montreal. Sometimes it takes a win to kind of get the proverbial monkey off your back, and then the guys are able to play a little more freer than they have. But a win's a win. 3 points against these guys is the same as 3 points against anybody else at the end of the season. So we'll see what happens.
I think it's too soon. I think it's just like 5-10 games isn't enough. To five games. If he goes on and he wins 10 games in a row, then we can start looking at it. But I don't believe in the interim manager becoming manager. I don't believe in it. I just believe in a clean slate. Like, just, I believe Pereira's. This is what I personally believe. Anyone can go out there and say I'm wrong and, whatever, and disagree with me on here, any of you. I believe that anybody who has been exposed to this regime of Oscar Pereira as a coach is prone to his ideologies. He wants people around him with his ideologies, and his coaching ideologies is that sitting back, is that when we go 1-0 up, you sit back. He wants people like that. And, I like this guy, this OCB coach. I think he's, he might be, you never know, the guy. Prove me wrong. I love to be proved wrong. I want Orlando to succeed, funnily enough. But I just think if he's exposed to that environment and Pereira kept him around, it can't be a positive. It can't be. I feel like we just need somebody else, just a clean slate, like Felipe Luis, who has new ideas, new coaching staff bringing in, new style of play, new everything. Because I feel like that's what we need. We're just on the decline, and I feel like if you bring him in, I'm not saying he's a bad manager, and he might do really, and he might go, right? This manager that we have now might go and be really successful somewhere else. But it's the fact that it's the same regime that we have now. We need something new. Just something, I think. I don't know if you lot agree with me or disagree
Yeah.
with me, or
Well, I knew Luke
Yeah, I
before the
think
match even kicked off where your opinion would be of him. So
because he kicked towards the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? Every time they kick off now, I'm like, Luke's pissed off today, man.
I am.
look, I
I'm
can't stop
fed up.
thinking about that.
No,
What's that?
because there's no way, right, you lot. There's no way we're losing the coin toss every week. We lose a 50-50 chance 100% of the time. No chance. We're not kicking towards the wall in the second half. We're just choosing not to. Right? And I don't get it. Don't get it. Sorry, what?
No, I've been saying the same thing as you for years, and I don't know, for some reason the other day I literally thought to myself, well, Pareja's gone. and we did it again. And I thought it's either like you're saying, where Perelman is under his tutelage, so he's doing
Yeah,
the same thing, or maybe these players are asking for it. I don't know.
I know.
You
Maybe
never,
it's
you
just
never
like
know. You never know.
I know, and I'm just thinking like that person who's been in the chat for a long time said it. Burn it down. If we're not kicking towards the wall in the second half, burn the whole thing down. Bring somebody that can actually, bring a captain in that actually like can understand that kicking towards the wall in the second half is an advantage. It's
Yes.
not. It's
You mean because
not
you have
just the
3,000 screaming people on your side? I mean, what?
yeah. It's like if you 1-0 down, right? Who do you want? The prawn cocktail brigade on the other side eating hot dogs,
Hey, hey, hey!
or do
They
you
were
want your
sitting in that
fans?
prawn cocktail brigade on that side. Sorry, man. Come on.
People still eat. But like they still have seats, right? We have a metal rail on our side, me and John.
I know, I know, I know,
But
I
Well,
like, who do you want? The hot dog eaters on one side kicking towards the wall, like kicking towards in the second half, or do you want your passionate fans on the no fan is. Let me clarify this: no fan is better than the other, but do you want your chanting fans going towards you in the second half or the other one?
well, I look. History agrees with you because some of our most monumental goals in the second half have come when we kick towards the wall. In fact, I'm gonna bring to you guys one of the most incredible moments I witnessed ever at a game. Was we were playing DC United at the death, and Daryl DK just scores it. And if you watch the video, the narration by the Orlando City broadcasters just sells it. It's just Evan Weston just his best work. But
David, every single greatest comeback we've ever had is had us kicking towards the wall in the second half.
like I
That
said,
goal, that
agree.
goal there, Rail Salt Lake 2-2 in 2015. That
Thank you,
goal,
brother.
that
Avery
was in
Bates.
that we were kicking towards the wall in the second half. That time in the Camping World or the Citrus
Yep.
Bowl, whatever you want to call it. Like you look at
Columbus in 23 when we came from 2 goals down
know. Oh,
twice.
yeah. To win 4-2.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
with
that was
Ramiro
kicking
Enrique
towards the wall in the
against
Yeah.
second
Columbus.
half. All these games have one common denominator, right? And it's because we kick towards the wall in the second half. People think like it's a genuine it's willy nilly and whatever. That's your home advantage. That plays a factor in the game. That plays in players' performances,
I agree.
and it's so important. Yeah, they're professional. They could do whatever they want, and they should be performing. Blah blah blah. But you want every single advantage as possible. And if this just doesn't stop, I'm gonna keep on going on and on and on every episode until we start doing it because
Eh,
Well,
it
and
needs it needs to happen.
it's not even a thing about being professional or anything. It gives you extra adrenaline too as a player
Yeah.
having that
Absolutely.
Yeah.
supporting you. So if we're on the attack, and we're sitting there doing our part, the players just naturally, the professional part of them is going to go, geez, our fans are doing their part. Sorry,
I just saw that as well. Wait, do you want to bring that up?
you know, we if the wall's doing their part, the players are going to go, well, we need to do, we need to hold up our end of the bargain. They're here watching us, type of deal, just naturally.
I mean,
And
look at Dorsey during the Miami game when he went to the wall and he just like for that 1 second the wall went crazy. Remember during
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Miami match when he
he
went?
he did it. He did it again Saturday. Gusky did it. I mean, that one thing I didn't get to say when I gave my thoughts on the match is the passion I saw from all the players,
Absolutely.
all 11 players on that pitch, the entire 90 minutes. We haven't seen that from our club in a very long time.
They looked free. They
I noticed.
looked free. I love to say the word free, but they looked like the shackles of just came off and they're just playing they're just playing with freedom. And if you get a manager who plays with freedom, which allows individual brilliance, but still in a system where they can succeed, the s- the world's the ceiling's limitless. Like,
I noticed it right away during warm ups. The warm ups were just the warm ups alone were different. The stuff that
Hmm.
they were doing in warm ups were different. I like just looking at them smiling, looking really, really happy. It just felt different. I don't know how much of a difference it was, but it did feel different. Going back to what David said earlier, if we would have beat Montreal under Pareja, I don't know the answer to that, but we all did say that we before he got sacked that we were going to win one. That was most likely it because of
Hmm.
what Montreal is. I do want to say to the listeners out there that give let's take it easy on Perelman for right now. I mean, I'm not saying that he should be our coach, but we are going on the road against Nashville, LAFC, and Columbus.
He's got an uphill battle if there ever
Yeah,
was
no, no,
all on the
three home
road,
game,
right?
three away games back to
Yeah,
back to back.
and against tough
It's a
teams.
tough.
So like,
yeah.
we don't need, like I said the other day, we don't need, if we lose those games or, two of them out of the three or something,
And what
nobody needs to go,
and
no,
what's
don't need to
also
go back.
difficult is that you have to go you have to go to Nashville, right? And then you go to
Southampton.
LAFC, which is across the country with a 3 hour time difference.
We have a week
Then you have
break in
to
between
then
those
you have
two,
to
though. I
fly
thought
all the way to
Yeah.
Ohio
Yeah.
and go back.
there's 14 days between Nashville and LAFC
And
though.
LAFC, yes.
Yeah.
There's the
It's
international
14
break.
But
days.
still,
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. But you still got a 7 hour flight, 4 hour difference against one of the best atmospheres in MLS. Those people are gonna be rabid against our boys. But again, pressure makes diamonds. And tonight I don't want to go ahead and go back to my catchphrase book, but the reality is that, like, to me, to me, this is why Perlman and Goldberg have on in front of their plate right now. By the way, I'm a hot dog eater because our stadium sells kosher hot dogs.
I'm
So,
sorry for
but,
anybody
but
who I
no, no,
offended.
it's all good. It's all good, brother. Listen, I always said, I'm just a fat guy in section
No,
3.
no, I'm
So,
just saying I'm old school football. I don't
no,
get
look,
eaten
don't
up.
worry. Listen, my brother, don't worry about it. It's all fun. But I have to tell you this. I have to tell you this. That what's in front of them is a possibility of being able to be part of the new staff with
Yeah,
whoever comes in, okay, or stay with the organization, because like Luke said, like the guys have said, everybody's contaminated, it's tainted by the DNA of the past regime. So how do you cleanse the palate of the ownership, and how do you cleanse the palate of the fans? You go and you do things that win you games. And this Saturday at Nashville is how you do it. And if you manage to get 3 points there and you go to LAFC and you snatch 3 points after that, then we need to start asking the serious questions, because at that point we could have a Raw Valentino situation where the interim the caretaker manager gets hot. My team, Stevenage in England, ended up with the caretaker being hired. Uh, has worked out. There was times where I felt that he should have been fired. They plot the course.
yeah,
But
David. Though, but
anyway,
that's because nobody wants to be the manager of
listen, I know
Stevenage.
that. Listen, okay, if we can deviate for a second, it's a reality. Stevenage is a ex-burb of London. People want to go to the flashy lights of the city, the biggest city. So I get that. We have that issue too. Atlanta's a big city, Miami's a big city, Charlotte's a big city. We're just a vacation spot. So, that's the other thing. I mean, we have to create an environment where players want to come play. If we have a dumpster fire, are we gonna attract big names? The answer is no. We need big names. Big names do not only sell tickets, not only sell jerseys, they attract other talent. Down south, people are taking pay cuts just to share the pitch with that man. Why can't we do the same thing? I don't want to dance in a mega circle here, but the fact is, my friends, that the task at hand is monumental, and we haven't had a run of games like this since 2016. No, I'm sorry, 2018, when we went to Vancouver. We lost like 5-1. Then we went to Toronto. Then we went to Montreal. And then we came home. By the way, James O'Connor never came back from that trip. He was fired. He was fired after the game in Montreal. He was gone. So with that
He's still
said,
in Canada then?
yeah, it was like a Canada trip,
No,
man.
I was
Those
just
three
joking because you
cities
said
in
he
June, he
never
was
made it
out.
back.
He was out. Yeah, I mean, and the team never came back. By the way, we went to Vancouver, and then we stayed on the road for Toronto. Then we stayed on the road for Montreal, and then we came home. So it was like Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, and then he was done in Montreal. So to as a fan of years, I think is a great test for these two men. That, by the way, I met him. Haven't had the chance to talk to them. Love to, because we have so much in common. Um, you know, get the feel for the guys. But at the same time, I think that we have a huge test ahead of us against Nashville, and next Monday we'll talk about it. But if we get anything out of Nashville, it will be great. It will be monumental for the club, because right now we're in a really really bad spot, and I don't envy the position that this man have been placed in. I think the players understand the assignment. I love the young cats. They have the talent, but people are writing our epitaph already. What is this? Week 4, week 5? People are writing our epitaph. We just started less than a month ago with a lot of excitement, and right now we don't even know if we're gonna make the playing game. So we have to generate enthusiasm, and we have to win games, and that starts this Saturday.
Even if we don't win, we need to say, "Wow, Orlando looks like that team again." That team that made it to the MLS back tournament, or the team that made it to the Eastern Conference final, or a team like that. They need to, even if they don't win, they just look like a team that they, wow, Orlando's a team that I don't want to play against at the moment. That's the team you want to be, not the team that, oh, we're going to Orlando, can't wait for this win, because that's how we've been at home. That's how we've played for the last 4 or 5 years at home. Is, wow, can't wait to go to Orlando because we're about to win this game. So it's not even about it. That's the statement you have to make. Is is like, I don't want to play against Orlando City. Simple, plain as. It's as simple as that. Make it tough for teams to beat you instead of just rolling over. So yeah, I don't
And
know.
I feel like Martin Perman has that from what I've seen in heard in his press conferences anyway. He's had um, that edge to him that we've kind of talked about on this show and on um, extra time. With the badge carrying weight and playing for the love of the badge and all of that. I feel like he really has that. I mean, just his comments. Um, you know, I mean, it's probably playing to the fans a little bit. You know, um,
I
but we
always do.
do. But
Walking and walk and talking the talk is two separate things now.
yeah,
Anybody
but
can
I mean,
talk.
you see, I mean, I know the TV probably didn't do a good job of showing it. The dude was intense. The dude was, trying to get the crowd on his side. Good luck with that, because that's the heart of the Prawn Cocktail Brigade is right behind the
Yeah.
the benches. But he was trying to get them amped up and everything. But You know,
But I don't. The way to get me hyped up is to win games, play great football.
yeah.
I don't
But
really care
you
if
have to have that intensity first.
I don't really care if you're throwing your arms about, hyping up the crowd and stuff like that. If you're a terrible player, if you're a terrible player. If you're an awful manager, you're an awful manager.
Yeah,
You know.
I think
So
that's
I
one
don't
thing.
really care. It's like what people say. It's like I don't fall in love with players. I don't fall in love with managers. I
Hmm.
fell in love with the club.
Bats
Sorry,
and collars always.
sorry. I don't. I don't. I've never fell in love with a player. I've never fell in love with a manager. I've never been upset. Of course, I've been upset when players leave and like players like go and stuff like that. But like, I've never been like, oh wow, I reminisce on that player and playing these days and stuff like that because they're gone. They're gone. They're gonna go. They're gonna do good things, bad things, whatever. I'm focused on the club we have.
Hmm.
You know,
I mean,
it's
maybe it's just because it's a voice that's showing, a little bit of emotion in the press conferences and such, whereas Poppy
but that's what
didn't.
they want.
You know,
That's what they want. They want you to hit you with the emotions and stuff
He
yeah.
like
has
that.
he
They
has
want you
fire.
to
He has
love you.
fire.
They want you to
I
love
mean,
you.
the dude was a perennial, yellow card a game for yelling at the refs on OCB. I was
Yeah,
actually
he
shocked
was
he
an
didn't get
absolute
one.
menace to those referees.
I was absolutely shocked he didn't get one Saturday, to be honest with you.
So
But let's move on to the Nashville match real quick. We've kind of been hinting at it here and there. Um, play in Nashville. It's a 6:15 p.m. kickoff. Kind of weird with that's a 5:15 kickoff for them. Um, what we think, guys?
Well, like David said, they are coming off of playing in Miami on Wednesday. Um, so, I mean, we'll see. We might see a different lineup for them come Saturday. Um, I don't know. To me, it's like Luke said. To me, it's if we of course I always want to win every game, but if we lose the game, if we look good out there and we look like we were just killing ourselves and trying and we put an effort and we look, we can see some positives out of it. I'm okay with it. But for sure, I would want the win though.
Yeah, I think that's all we ever really want as fans, right? As supporters of the club. It's like that's what you want. You want to see them out there giving 100%. You want to see them out there playing the way you know they can play, playing freely, playing playing the sport we love, man. I mean, with what we've been seeing, we want to see more of that. We want to see more of that. We want to see them playing well, and the outcome is what it is. I mean, nobody's going to blink an eye if we lose if we were playing well. It's when we lose and we're playing like trash that's when it becomes an issue. So I think as long as we're playing well and we're fighting, that's all we can ask for, really, as fans in any sport.
can I be honest with you?
No
I was
lie,
gonna
lie through your
okay.
teeth.
No, no honesty anymore. This would have been Pereira's chance to probably keep his job these next few games because we play like an away team. We have 3 away
Yeah.
games, and he does
Yeah.
play like
Yeah.
we're an away team. It's actually fortunate we got it. We got him out because we had a home game and a rivalry game, and then we played awful against NYCFC that we got him out. But like he plays well away from home, Pereira, but he's gone. So I was gonna say if there's any chance for him to save his job, if he was still in his job, was to go 3 home games or 3 away games and win all of them. Because we do play like an away team. But we don't. So thank some higher power who got him out. But expectations for this game, I think everyone's nailed it. I don't expect anything different. I probably expect a bit different. It's just I don't expect to win. It's too soon, and
Yeah.
there's going to be growing pains and players playing probably a bit more free.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we come out differently.
Yeah, we're going to come out
strategically.
probably a bit differently. You're right.
Yeah,
So
it'll be very
yeah,
interesting to see how we approach it.
yeah, you never know. We could actually switch back to what we've been seeing and then next thing you know, our whole opinions changed. But we don't know. And as we say at the end, football is cruel and unpredictable, and that is the slogan. It is. So
Well, against Montreal, we had to change it up because Thor was on the other side. I was laughing with my brother, telling him, I wonder if Thor was like thinking he was telling Montreal all our tactics, and then we sacked Poppy. Like, damn, never mind. Like,
I don't
forget
know.
everything
Forget
I
everything
said.
I said.
But actually, I know in the NFL anyway that does happen
Mhm.
quite a bit when players get traded right at the beginning of the season. I mean, honestly, the best way, as stupid as it sounds and as simple as it sounds, the best way for us to beat Nashville, for anybody to beat Nashville right now, is to eat up possession. Because they don't, if I'm correct, I don't believe they have Schaffelberg anymore. Um, on the
No, he
wing,
went. I think he went to. I think he went to LAFC.
he went
Right?
to
He left.
LAFC. Um, you know they're missing a little bit of speed. That they usually don't have, that they've had in the past. So I really think that if it's a game that we're gonna have to play more like the home team than we have in the past.
Yeah, I don't think there's really too much more to say about that. 'Cause we could go in circles.
I mean, the other day in the Champions game against Miami, they look pretty good. I mean, it was a 0-0 game, but they look pretty good.
and that's
Yeah,
what
I
it's all
mean they're
about.
flying high.
It's
But that's not
about
the lineup. We might not see that lineup on Saturday. We don't know.
yeah, we're in a time of uncertainty.
Yeah.
We're just in a time of we don't know what we might see a completely different lineup, and it might all debacle. It's just it's fun for once, I think, because we don't know what to expect. Because we were sitting here for the past few weeks and we were saying, oh, well, he's going to sit back and he's going to, like once we score a goal, we've predicted exactly what's going to happen. Now, the fun part is we don't know what's going to happen. And I feel
You guys
like
think
I'm loving it because I'm not going to be this delusional pessimist where I'm like, oh, I'm worried. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm excited because I don't know what's going to happen. And it's a change to what I'm used to. So,
should Perriman go out with the same lineup?
um, I mean, if it, I'm a practical type of thinker. If it's not broke, don't like. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
See, yeah,
Go out the same you're doing it. So just do the same thing. You're an interim, so
yeah. You also figure that Perlin's been around a while with
yeah, he's
Oscar.
been around for a
So
little
he
bit.
knows the things that work, the things that don't. And he probably knows the things that he's wanted to do that maybe he couldn't do, that he would do differently if he was
Yeah, he
in his position.
probably has been around the environment of Pere, and he's like, well, why has he done this and why has he done
Yeah,
Well,
that?
that's what I was thinking earlier. Like just Ahmed said to when Luke, when you said that, oh, maybe you're afraid that he might fall to the Pareja things. But I was thinking the same thing as Ahmed. Well, what if he did want to make changes or had different ideas and Pareja told him no? So
Yeah,
he just
there is
so
that,
he
and then
maybe
there
even throw
is
them out there. He
yeah,
possibly just kept them in, didn't even throw some certain things out. It's those are certain little things that I always tell people that's above our pay grade, like, and we'll never know the answers to those things. Like
yeah, yeah. And there's one part of it too. It's like you can have your mental approach to a game has so much to do with it, right? You can have the same tactics, but going into it with a different mindset can change everything. Maybe that's what we're seeing because we could sit here and talk about it all day. Is it because of what Perlman did? Is it because of the change? It could be a combination of them. But would also say, it could very well be just the fact that there was this change. They're looking at things differently. So the same tactics that weren't working before may be working now because of their approach, because they're thinking there's a difference. Uh, it's gonna work. You know what I mean? Like it's tough. It's an
Yeah, I
interesting.
mean the job of any manager when they first come in, whether it's permanently or on an interim basis, is to change the mindset of the players to match what they want it to be before anything will take, any changes they want to take hold.
Yep.
The mindset of the players has to fit what theirs is and their standard is, and all of that. And if it doesn't, then they're not going to succeed, which is, going back to the whole Wilfred Nancy situation with Celtic. That's part of the reason he didn't succeed there, is the players mentally didn't adapt to his mentality, and then they didn't adapt to the tactics, and it's just a chain effect at that. But if you can get the players to buy in and fit your mentality, then
buy into the idea.
Yeah. And Perman even said it in his press conference. He's like, it's going to be a lot of the same to begin with my changes slowly taking effect.
It's like Shark Tank on steroids. Because you have to convince
10,000 players,
20, 30 guys in a dressing room to buy into your idea about playing.
Yeah.
And if all of them don't agree, then you're going to be gone faster than anyone. And then you have to sell it to 25,527 people. I think I've got
That's
that.
24,000 and something now, Luke. Because
All right, mate. I didn't ask. Yeah, because of the cocktail brigade section. Oh,
yes, we lost 1,600 seats.
That place was dead. That section was dead the other day. I mean, I know it was against Montreal.
It's been dead. It's been dead since it's a thing.
Well, it's because it's half the number of people in the same section that used to be there. So even when it's full, it's going to be half empty. Because half the number.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if it's packed, it's going to be half the number of people. Whatever.
They're just
that's a
going
whole
to
other situation.
Yeah,
but
that's a whole other.
Luke, to your point, though, it's like, it seems like if based on Saturday's performance, it seems like he has them on board. Because they all so that to me is a good sign. Regardless of his direction, you need that regardless of what's going to happen, because no matter what he tries, if he doesn't have them on board, we're not going anywhere. So that's a good sign in the short term. What happens after that, you know what, this is why it's a sport.
I know, right? This is why it's the best sport on the planet.
For sure.
You can have a team that's one of the worst in the league. Sorry, the second goal is on my Twitter feed on my other screen. You can have a team that's the worst in the league do something as pleasantly pleasing as what they did on that second goal.
You can have a team that loses the coin toss, loses a 50-50 coin toss 100% of the time, and play amazing football like that.
Oh, my God.
No, for sure. I would like to thank the 76 people that have been with us live tonight. And by the way, if it's your first time checking us out, thank you very much. We're on audio. Later on, tomorrow morning, you can find us on audio wherever you consume your podcasts. We're live 9 p.m. On Twitch and Facebook and Instagram and X. And I don't know what else we are on. So thank you very much for that, and for the people on YouTube that are gonna watch this later, thank you again. We're building up an audience this year, and I really appreciate that. Final words for me is just win, baby. Win for the little guy in the terraces. Thank you, Chris. Crisis letters. I'm sorry. I appreciate that, my guy.
Also, I think me and John have figured out who it is. I'm not gonna say your name if you don't want to, but
we're gonna start printing T-shirts with this: "Damn hot dogs and cocktails."
Me and John know who it is. Shout out to you. I'll message you later.
Yeah, for sure. So guys, final words as we head out into probably one of the worst. No, I'm gonna say worst, but most difficult times in our club's history as we head on the road with an interim manager. What do you guys think?
Just win and play hard.
Yeah, grit. Absolutely. This actually doesn't show the manager at this point. I think this shows the players.
Absolutely.
And their determination and their drive and their fight to start winning games again. So,
absolutely. This is.
I mean, because the players know if performances and attitude doesn't change, that it's,
Their job.
summer transfer window's coming up.
Their jobs.
Yep.
Nobody's job's safe in football at the moment. Summer transfer window's coming up. So, some people could be shipped off. Let's hope Marin. I'm joking. I'm not calling out Marin. That was mean. Okay.
The hope that kills you. Isn't that what Ted Lasso says?
Yeah, I think it's what everyone says in England.
One says it.
So, is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it. All right, let's wrap it up, people. Let's get this ready. All right, so we're going to leave you the only way we know how, reminding you that football is played on grass, not on paper, that football is cruel and unpredictable, that football is a pound of talent and an ounce of luck. And if you have not cried for joy or anger over football, have you really ever footballed? For the whole crew, John, David, Misael, and Luke, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!